Live from Orlando, Florida, you're listening to the Orlando Magic HQ podcast, the voice of Magic fans. Join us every week for a unique fan perspective on all of the latest Magic news and updates. The show starts now.
What's up, Magic fans? Welcome back to another episode of the Orlando Magic HQ podcast, brought to you by the Believe Podcast Network. We're your hosts, Al, myself, Anthony. Today is, this is immediately after the Orlando Magic first Summer League game Thursday night. So you might be hearing this Thursday night, or you might be hearing and watching this on Friday morning, 7-Eleven. So make sure that you get your free Slurpee. Al, my man, what's going on? First Summer League game is in the books. How you feeling, bro?
Feeling good, man. Too bad that Jace Richardson had to miss a few minutes there. Looked like he hurt himself again. We've heard that he's been dealing with some sort of right ankle injury through the first few practices. So it kind of sucked to see him go down for a few minutes, but it was good that he came back. And it was impressive, man. I was impressed with what he looked like. He is 6 feet, 6'1", whatever you want to say. But he doesn't play like one. Like he looks really composed. The most impressed I was with his finishing abilities. Again, at 6'1", he goes to the hoop over 7-footers and finishes with ease. So that was good to see. Second round pick, not quite as exciting based on what we saw today, Noah Penda. But again, defensively, as advertised. And lastly, TDS, man. How can you not be impressed with that kid? He looked amazing last year. He looked composed every single game that he played. Today, that continued a bit better. Like he looks more comfortable out there. Offensively, great night for him. Those are my quick takeaways. It's Summer League. We're not going to go too in-depth into this. But what about you? What were your thoughts on how they looked?
Yeah, man, it's Summer League. I feel like we haven't recorded in a little while. So we have a lot to catch up on in this episode where we're going to talk about how active the Magic have been, from Tyus Jones to us hiring a couple new coaches to the coaching staff. Big news today coming out where the Magic did lose a coach. So we'll touch base a little bit on that. But yeah, man, getting into the Summer League, it's Summer League. Like you really got to take it with a grain of salt. Like at the same time that the Magic are playing, the big headline is Bronny James versus Cooper Flagg, and Bronny James is giving Cooper Flagg a run for his money, right? So it's Summer League, and it's hard because I have to remind myself while we were watching this game that it is Summer League, because it was a tough watch. Like it was ugly basketball. It really was. But when you're watching it, we're obviously, we really don't care about anyone else. Our eyes are mainly on Tristan da Silva, Noah Penda, and then obviously Jace Richardson. And straight off the bat, Jace looks small. He's the smallest guy on the court, right? We knew this going into it, but this kid is active, man. His first chance at a bucket in the game is a 3-point shot, so it's obviously beautiful to see. He ends the game, shooting 2 from 3. 14 points. The last 3 was like literally seconds left in the game, so I don't know if I personally really count that or not. But I did like what I saw from Jace. A little scary that he did fall, and it looked like he was like wobbling off the court and took himself out of the game. And they obviously ended up bringing him back out. But this is one of those things where we really don't know how many games we're going to see with these guys, right? Typically, the Magic number is like 2 or 3 games, and then that's about it. So you take what you're able to get. It's a good introduction for these guys. First games is always tough because it doesn't matter who you are, how long you've been playing. There's always going to be the first game jitters. Noah Penda looked like he was struggling with that. He didn't have the best showing. He did have some moments where you really like seeing the defensive deflections to, there was a moment where he took the ball to the paint really strong. So like little moments like that made me feel great about him. But keep in mind, Franz Wagner, when we saw Franz in the Summer League, he played like crap, right? At the same time, Kevin Knox, he played like LeBron. So it's Summer League games where you really don't know what you're really going to get. But you're just happy that there's some level of Magic basketball. Can we highlight the fact that our new logo looks phenomenal on TV? Like it looked great. Like reflecting a little bit on the rebrand, I love the logo so much more now than I did when they first announced it. Like it has not only grown on me, I'm upset that I still haven't had a chance to get my hands on some of the the gear. So we need to work on that, Al. You go to the games way more often than I do. So the minute that we get a chance to get back in there, I'm gonna need you to hook it up.
I got you, man. As soon as I get to go to the arena, I got you. But dude, talking about the logo, like honestly, on TV at the NBA draft, on ESPN, when we first traded for Desmond Bain, like when we signed Tyus Jones, like all these things that happened, and you kept seeing the Magic on TV. The logo just looks amazing. It truly pops on TV. The blue, I love the new blue. Again, pops on
It's
TV as
beautiful.
well. So again, they did a great job with it. We'll talk about our grades of the total offseason in general in this episode. And I think the rebrand takes a major, major part of that. So great job by the marketing team. They killed it.
Yeah, and then obviously I didn't get a chance to talk about Tristan da Silva. Tristan da Silva, he looks solid out there. It's what you want. He's someone that's going to limit the mistakes. He made some great open shots. He looked aggressive. There was moments in the beginning of the game where he did start off a little slow, but Tristan da Silva is at a point now going into his second year where he knows what to expect with Summer League. I'm not expecting Tristan da Silva to go out there and drop 25, 30 points. I'm expecting for Tristan da Silva to just be a little more active, to work on the areas that he wants to work on and to improve, to continue to have that rhythm from the 3-point line and maybe see a little playmaking from him. So when it comes to Tristan da Silva, I'm not expecting a whole lot of nothing. Where obviously this is a player that started over 30 plus games for us last season, fell out of the rotation a little bit towards the end of the year, but we're going to be expecting big things from him this year. So all in all, first game, good showing. It was competitive, very ugly basketball, but you can take a little bit of highlights from Jace, Noah, and Tristan. Noah, a little disappointing, but first game jitters. I'm excited to see what they do in game 2.
Yeah, and I mean, I think what we saw from Noah in particular, it's what we really saw in those tapes from France and what we heard about him coming into the league. Like he's a great defender, active hands, big body, man, a big
Yep.
body. I said it in our Discord chat that we have. I would pay money to watch Paolo and him go out in training camp and practice. Like they have a very similar body build. Like these dudes are just thick. They're strong. They go to the hoop strong. So like he's gonna be a guy that if he can learn a couple things from Paolo, and then that shot, he's not shy. Like he trusts his 3-point shot. Of course, it didn't go down tonight, which unfortunately that was the case. But the fact that
he
he
wasn't afraid. Yeah, he wasn't afraid to shoot it.
Exactly.
He was launching them. They weren't going in.
It reminds
but he was
me.
launching them.
It reminds me of Tristan last year. There was a point in the season where he went through this cold stretches, but he would still shoot the ball.
Yep.
So it tells you the confidence is there. They're seeing it go in practice. So they're like, hey, I'm going to try it in the games. And hey, if you're going to miss, 4 or 5 in a game, this is time to do it right now in Summer League. So keep shooting it. Hopefully we'll get to see him at least in one more game. But the Magic usually do this thing where the first 2 games they play, they're NBA players. After that, they shut it down. So we have maybe one more game to go where we can see what Jace looks like, what Noah looks like, and potentially Tristan one more game.
Yeah, Summer League, we get some level of Magic basketball. This will then transition into, I can't remember if it was fully confirmed or not, but Franz Wagner playing in international games as well, and then it's going to be a really long break of nothing. A lot of the action has already happened, and we're going to rewind the clock a little bit because we didn't get a chance to talk about it. Magic got active, Al. Magic, I don't know what was going on, but literally everything that the fan base wanted, the Magic delivered, right? From the branding to the acquisitions to the adjustments. So kind of hitting the first one off the back. What I'm excited for, I know this wasn't your number one option, but the Magic signing Tyus Jones to a 1-year, $7 million deal. Man, what a huge pickup. And for a free agency, I know some people were a little disappointed. Maybe they wanted more, maybe they didn't. To me, this is huge because you're adding a veteran player at the point guard position. When you talk about Paolo Banchero requesting for a table setter. From what's available in the free agency, this is the guy. And you're not getting a long-term commitment. You're not spending a whole lot of crazy money. You're getting a player that can come in now and support the team and allow for us to be more successful from behind the three-point line. This is someone that can shoot the three ball. This is somebody that has a very, very low turnover rate. This is somebody that can set the table and play make. He has one of the best corner three-point shooting percentages in the NBA. This is someone that can do damage from a floater perspective. That was a big missing element for the Magic. I am so excited about Tyus Jones being a part of this team because it is going to open up so many different things for the Magic. To me, Tyus Jones, when you have Paolo, when you have Franz, and even Jalen Suggs, when they have moments where they're penetrating, you're going to be able to have this player that is going to be off to the side, off to the corner, consistently knocking these shots down. All those times that we've been frustrated with Jonathan Isaac shooting those corner threes and missing them consistently, everything is forgiven because we have a player that can now save our post players in these moments and bail them out by stretching the floor out and being able to hit and make these threes. So I'm super excited for Tyus Jones. I think it's huge, and it's also a big insurance, right? Jalen Suggs goes down, you have somebody that can pop in, that can handle the point guard position and run it the way that we want to run it, right? So I'm excited about Tyus Jones. When you first heard the news, what was the first thing that went through your mind?
So my immediate reaction was kind of predictable. I think we had heard some rumors leading into this that he was going to be the guy. And not only that, trade deadlines 2 years in a row, he's been the guy that Magic fans have been, hey, go after him. It just makes sense. And it truly does, right? When you look at what he brings to the table, right? That playmaking, that shooting, that veteran kind of that leadership to the locker room that we've needed now that Gary's no longer there. We really don't have vets anymore. Like, he is actually our oldest player at 29 years old. So it makes a ton of sense. Exciting. We haven't had a real point guard on this team in a long time. Colt, in my opinion, was never a true point guard. Nope. Yeah, Corey Joseph, but I mean, come on, let's talk about like an actual guy that can contribute on a nightly basis, like an actual role on this team, not a third string point guard.
And you can debate maybe a player like Markelle Fultz in terms of point guard, but even with Markelle, he never had the shooting part down. So we haven't had like the full package of the type of point guard that we've needed.
Yeah, because Markelle is Markelle, but unfortunately, as we always knew, Markelle was going to miss a significant amount of time with injury. The shooting wasn't there. The playmaking was outstanding, but because he couldn't shoot, the defense didn't respect him, and that was unfortunate. That's what eventually led him to be, let go by the Magic. So it makes a ton of sense. Exciting. I think it's an A+ signing. I think it makes a lot of sense on paper. The part where I come in, where I'm like, man, like I wish we maybe made a different move. It's not so much instead of Tyus, is on top of signing him, I wish we would have gotten a guy like maybe like a Tim Hardaway Jr. Unfortunately, before the betting issues, Malik Beasley, like someone that can just come off the bench and light it up. Think of a new modern Terrence Ross. Why do I say that? Because off the bench right now, if you think about our bench today, it is at the moment Tyus Jones, Anthony Black, question mark at the small forward position. Is it going to be Tristan? Is it going to be Jay Howard? We don't know yet. J.I. and then eventually Mo Wagner. So that three position, that small forward position, if either Jay Howard or Tristan takes it and say, hey, this is my position, I'm going to take it, I'm going to play well, I'm going to hit open shots, I'm going to contribute off the bench and score 10 a night, that's it. That's kind of what I wanted. But as of today, we don't know if Jet can give us that or if Tristan can give us that in the playoffs. I'm not talking about some random game in December. I mean, in the playoffs, come, the second round, hopefully if we make it there, the Eastern Conference Finals, who can be that guy off the bench that can come in and light it up? So again, Tyus brings the playmaking, brings the shooting, but can he give us 15 a night consistently? Probably not. So that's kind of what I'm still hoping the Magic some way, somehow add. Maybe not in the offseason, but at the trade deadline, maybe we look into that because that's the huge void. Another thing too is AB. So we drafted him to be a point guard. Last year, when everyone and their mothers went out with an injury, we didn't trust him with the point guard position. What does it say about that? Now this offseason comes, and hey, you're the backup point guard. We trade Cole away. And guess what? We just signed Tyus to be the backup point guard. So it's like, is he just not a point guard in the Magic's eyes? And if that's the case, how is he feeling about that? Because he said it multiple times. I'm a playmaker. I want the ball in my hands. So a bit of a concern there. So eventually the move might just be you trade AB for that shooting guard, small forward that can score at some point down the road. Not saying now, but that might be the move if we keep Tyus here long term as a backup point guard. But the move itself, man, A plus. Props to Jeff once again. He killed it. He made the right decision. And hey, man, Tyus Jones is finally an Orlando Magic player. It's been 3 years in the making.
Yeah, so I want to address one point with Anthony Black, but before we do that, just to kind of add another layer of my excitement with Tyus Jones. Tyus Jones already comes in with an advantage with building chemistry with this team. Is someone that has already played multiple seasons with Desmond Bain. He mentioned in his interview that he was at Desmond Bain's wedding, recently. This is somebody that went to Duke, so he wore the Duke number 5 that Paolo Banchero wore as well. So he's a part of that brotherhood as well. And then this is someone that has known Jalen Suggs for a really, really long time, who comes out of the Minnesota area. So there's a lot of different connections. And during his press conference, one of the things I loved is that he talked about how some of the things that he's going to bring outside of just the shooting and the playmaking is just being an extension of Coach Mose. Like being a point guard, there's a certain level of responsibility that comes with being a point guard, a true point guard characteristics, and it's being a leader on the floor. So the fact that you have somebody like that from the second unit coming in to be able to lead any team, any squad. Like this isn't Joe Ingles leading the second unit. This is a true point guard that's doing that. I am beyond excited to be able to have that type of player join this team. And you mentioned, can he be a player that can score 15 points a night for us? He averaged 10 points last season, and this is him sharing the court with Kevin Durant, Devin Booker, and Bradley Beal. So he's going to be someone that is able to do more for us than what he did for his team in Phoenix, because of the way that our roster's makeup is. Now, in terms of Anthony Black's goal should be making Tyus Jones a third string point guard. That should be his goal, right? To the point that he outplays the crap out of him, and you just have to play Anthony Black more than you do Tyus Jones. Until that happens, nothing, in my opinion, nothing is given. We're not going to give Anthony Black nothing. He has to earn it, right? If he really wants to be a point guard in this league, and that's where he feels like that's his best fit, then he has to go out there and prove it, not just defensively, but offensively. Tyus Jones, yeah, maybe he can hold his own defensively, but Anthony Black has the body to be able to do way more damage than Tyus Jones is able to do, just because he's 6'7", 6'8", and he has the lateral quickness to be able to compete defensively on a super elite level. Now, if that's not the case, and we play him 2, play him 3, then that's where Coach Mose has to kind of make the decision of what's best for this team. Like there's only so much effort that they can now add on the developmental end because we're in a win now. So if Anthony Black thinks that he is the point guard, right? Because we skipped out on that for him last season, then his goal is to make Tyus Jones unplayable because he plays so well. It's just the way that I see it.
Yeah, and I even think that the way that it should work, at least, we should always have Desmond Bain, Jalen Suggs, one of the two on the court, and always have one of Paolo or Franz on the court at all times. So there might be times where Tyus Jones comes in for Jalen Suggs. Now he's the point guard. And then off the bench, you bring AB and Jalen Suggs. So now maybe Jalen is a 2 in that scenario. So we'll see. I'm sure that will be fun, man. The depth that we have right now, that's the exciting part, that we didn't really lose any key parts of our bench when it comes to what we did in the offseason. So Mose has a heck of a job ahead of him right now to figure out the minutes, figure out the rotations. So yeah, there'll be plenty to play with. I'm not too concerned. I'm sure they'll figure it out. And don't forget, AB showed some flashes shooting the ball last year. He showed some flashes, scoring 15, 16, 20 points at times off the bench. So if he can give us that lift off the bench, consistently, what Cole Anthony couldn't do, hey man, that's all we can ask for.
Yeah, and just to kind of add a little more to that, Jalen Suggs, man, we are he was in the summer, he was in Vegas supporting the summer league team, sitting next to Coach Mose. We're expecting so much from Jalen Suggs. We obviously he knows we're expecting a lot because he got a fat contract from us, right? If something were to happen where he just doesn't have another healthy season, we're not going to be in the same position that we were last year, where we're like, crap, what are we going to do? Who's going to be the next person to hold that point guard position? We're not going to be hearing point guard by committee. It's not going to be Corey Joseph, our third string point guard, running the show for us in the playoffs. Like, you have the confidence that you have someone that can fill in. I just want to add the last part. Tyus Jones, signing Tyus Jones to me is such a huge deal. Such a huge deal. I was a little not confused, but the first thing I thought about when we traded for Desmond Bane was, I really wanted Jalen Suggs to be our two guard, and I really wanted us to get, a point guard, a true point guard for this team. And I feel like if the Magic decided Desmond Bane is the guy, they invested in him, and they obviously gave up a lot to bring him in, and we obviously know that he's going to be able to bring so much value. At the very least, you're getting yourself a potential, sixth man of the year. So I'm excited for it. And then leads me to the second part of the Magic being active. We were waiting and waiting and waiting for the news of, the Magic needing to bring Mo Wagner back, and the Magic are able to not just pull it off, man, but pull it off in a way where it is such a team-friendly deal, and bringing back Mo Wagner to the Magic, him signing a 1-year, $5 million deal while he continues to recover from his ACL tear. I see this in two different ways. So the first one, if there's one thing that I absolutely loved about this offseason when it comes to Mo Wagner, is how much of a fan base support there was to bring him back. That whole excuse of, he's only a part of the team because of Franz, or, whatever case may be, that's all out the window. People love and they support Mo Wagner because of the energy that he brings, because of he comes in and he's just a punch, man. You come in and you're not going to like every shot that he takes. He's going to make some decisions that you're just going to be like, no, but wait. Oh, okay. Because he finds a way to be able to score. His pump fakes drive me absolutely insane because I never understand how anybody falls for it. But I am so excited for Mo Wagner to be back, man. He is a huge makeup of our identity, and the fact that we're able to bring him back very cheap, to me, this feels like a prove-it deal where we want to see him recover from this ACL tear and continue to do and add to the contributions that he did before he was injured, before even better deal that maybe we can commit to long term happens. But when you heard that we were bringing Mo Wagner back, what's the first thing that you thought of?
I mean, it was another one of those where, again, expected from me. The whole offseason, I kept saying, I am 99.9% sure that he'll be back. Now, where the shock came in was on the years and the money that he got. That I think nobody that's a Magic fan expected a 1-year, $5 million deal. I can tell you this for sure. The Magic have to have some sort of handshake behind the scenes deal with him saying, hey, man, sign this contract today. We got you. At some point, we'll give you the contract you deserve. The Magic just didn't have the flexibility because Tyus took that $7 million deal. We went into the non-taxpayer mid-level exception. So we only had basically $14 million to play with, 13 and change. 7 of that went to Tyus, and it left 2 roster spots open. We either had to make a trade or we had to settle on a cheap contract with Mo Wagner to make it all work for us. And apparently that was the way that we went. We basically got a very cheap contract for Mo, $5 million, $5 million contract. It's a gift, man. It really is. I like him as a player. I like him as a person. Of course, he is Franz's brother. What he brings to the core, you can't replicate. He is that dog, that mentality, that guy that comes in, checks in, and just goes to work immediately. And if you guys remember, before he got hurt last year, this guy was a 6th man of the year candidate. He was up there, up to that point. It was a guaranteed 12 to 15 points, 5 to 7 rebounds, a couple of 3-pointers every single night. But most importantly, the energy, the fight, getting to the opponent's face. Like it was just, he's exactly what we need. When you have him and Jalen Suggs going at the same time, it's so much fun. I truly hope Mo Wagner is here for a long, long time. The same way that I feel that I want to see Paolo and Franz here for a long, long time. Most part of that in my eyes, because again, what he brings is so unique, it's so different, but yet it's needed. So super excited to see him back. It was an expected move, but man, I think as a Magic fan base, we got to be thankful of the fact that he keeps taking these pay cuts, because without that, our bench would be in significant trouble.
Yeah, man. Again, yeah, you think about Wendell Carter Jr., for example, another player that struggled with injury. If he can go for whatever reason, you have options with Goga, you have options with Mo Wagner, you have different ways and different players that you're able to utilize. And when you take a look at our roster, you still don't know exactly what you're going to get with Jet Howard. We kind of have an idea of what we're getting with Tristan Da Silva. But for the most part, this is a very, very deep team. And one of the things that, because I've seen some people kind of complain, like, I wish we would have did more for free agency. I wish that we would have, traded more, made an additional move. The Magic bring in Desmond Bane. The Magic bring in Tyus Jones. You obviously draft a player like Jace Richardson that you're expecting some level of contributions from. That by itself, like just adding, changes the dynamic of the team, because obviously you're expecting on paper that we are going to shoot better. The Magic can't go out there and just bring in 5, 6, 7, 8 new players and just pray and hope that they're all shooters, or expect for all of them to be shooters, and then our shooting problems are over. The Magic brought in 3 players that can shoot the basketball, but they're also banking on the fact that our team is going to be healthier. They're also banking on the fact that these players are going to stretch the floor out more so that we're able to take better shots. And you're also banking on the fact that the Franz, Paolo, Jalen, the rest of the roster, they're coming back. They're busting their ass in the offseason, and they're coming back more developed and become better basketball players, become better shooters. So there's a lot of different elements that the Magic can improve on, and not just by acquisitions, right? So Mo Wagner coming back is going to be such a huge deal, because he's somebody that can also help with stretching the floor. He can step up when he needs to. He can step back when he needs to as well. He's just versatile, man. And him getting paid $5 million to be able to do this for us is criminal. It is so criminal. It's so criminal that it makes my stomach turn, knowing that we're paying Jet Howard the same amount of money this year. Next year, Jet Howard on the club option, he's going to be getting paid $7-8 million. There's no way that Mo Wagner is worth so much more. And if Mo Wagner is ever at a bar in Orlando, nobody should allow this man to pay for his own drink. Somebody get this man a drink. Somebody pay for it. At least one.
I agree.
That's it.
I agree. I mean, it's highway robbery, man. What we've been able to do with Mo Wagner the last couple of years. But I think at some point the Magic will have to decide. J.I., Mo Wagner, Goga, all this money going into the big guys off the bench. At some point, they'll have to consolidate that a little bit and pay him the right way, because if he keeps up playing the way that he did last year, he comes back, playing similarly, at least close to the same level. This man is going to demand at least $12 to $15 million easily to be a 6th man of the year candidate for the next few years. So the day will come, but thankfully that is not today.
Yeah, it just to kind of add another layer of perspective, Jonathan Isaac is set to make $15 million this year. 15. Mo Wagner's getting paid 5.
Crazy.
He's getting paid 5. Jonathan Isaac, we've seen pictures of him in the offseason. He looks like he's getting in great shape. We know that he added 30 additional pounds last offseason, going into this season. This is the healthiest he's ever been. We're expecting a larger role in minutes. But if my man cannot produce as much as Mo Wagner does when he's healthy, there's no reason why we should be paying him $15 million and Mo Wagner only 5. So that's my stick. So Magic end up dropping $7 million on Tyus Jones. They drop another $5 million on Mo Wagner. And then the next step, the obvious step, right, is to, pay Paolo Banchero $239 million. Huge, huge, huge payday for our franchise. Huge payday for the future former number one pick of the NBA. Paolo Banchero is with the Magic for the foreseeable future, keeping Franz, Paolo, Desmond, Jalen together as a core for a very, very long time in Central Florida. How happy are you that the Magic were able to lock down Paolo Banchero for the next 5 years?
I think this was the one move that we're like, all right, this is going to happen for sure at some point. There was no doubt about it. Man, super happy for Paolo. The fact that all the draft night drama, who's going to go first, we end up, taking him at the last minute, surprising everyone, and to see kind of how it all played out, right? This guy, unanimously, in my opinion, is the number one pick. He should have been all along. And to ultimately get to this point where he's getting this significant contract, life changing. He had a IG story that he uploaded, basically talking about how this brown ball, can change your life. And in reality, he's now a person that's going through that. He's living through that right now. I will say confidently, this is the first of many contracts of this magnitude that Paolo Banchero is going to sign. He's so young. He has at least one or two more at least max contracts in him if he continues to play and stay healthy. Incredible, man. Super happy for him. Super happy for the Magic. The future is bright for this franchise. We are entering uncharted territory. Like, we haven't been in this phase of Magic basketball in such a long time that it feels weird going into a season with two max players, Desmond Bane, Jalen Suggs, two key role players for this team. It's crazy to think about where we're headed. It's exciting to be a Magic fan, but it all starts with this man right here on the screen. Without him, we wouldn't be here. So exciting years ahead. We have at least 4 to 5 years, man, to make this thing work. We have a core in place: Franz, Paolo, Jalen Suggs, Desmond Bane. That's kind of the core of the team right now. How far we go, it's in their hands right now. But the Magic did their job. They pay their guys. They're putting their full trust in these guys. Yes, they're young. Yes, they are still getting experience in the NBA. But hey, they did their part. So the front office can now say, hey, man, we did our part. Here you go. Go win me some games and eventually get us a championship.
Yeah, I mean, we've heard it all when it comes to people and giving their thoughts on the ownership. If there's one thing that you cannot take away from the Magic, is that they are spending money for the first time in a really, really long time. What's crazy is I was listening to Dwight Howard in one of his recent podcasts where he was talking about he's never had $100 million contract. Never. Not one time. And when I look back at the contract that we gave him, yeah, never. So the fact that, obviously Franz Wagner was the first one to get, over the 200. I think he was the first player ever in Magic history to get over the 200 mil. Paolo Banchero following right through, obviously. So this contract, if is heavily incentivized. I can't remember exactly what elements he had to hit, but the contract's for 239, but he can make all the way up to 287 million, which is huge, man. And if there's anyone that can really take this to the next level, it's Paolo Banchero, man. This dude averaged almost 20, 25, 26 last season. You're talking about a whole nother off season where now we got a full team to be able to make his life easier. Knock on wood, if we are able to stay healthy and knock down shots, that the Magic are going to be a problem. And we're starting to hear that from all these different outlets. And it's now not just the news outlets. It's not just ESPN. It's not just Fox. There's a lot of different podcasts out there that, we're the talk of the town. Are we the OKC of the East? Can we be the Indiana Pacers this year, where we just come in and we're surprising all these NBA teams? And the specific page that is super active has been, Hard Rock Sports Book, right? They've been jumping on the Magic bandwagon so much. It seems like every basketball propaganda is talking about the Magic. So you love to see it. The money's been put up. Now the Magic have to go out there and do something with it. The front office did everything they did on their end. Jeff Weltman's job Jeff Weltman has done everything on his end. Now it's Coach Mose. Now it's the players. Now it's Paolo Banchero and Franz Wagner to be able to lead this team and do their part.
Yeah, man. Actually, perfect timing. I just pulled up this graphic from our post this week that you created, and basically, it's a summary of what the offseason looked like for the Orlando Magic, and the title is Magic Cooked. So if you're listening to this, you're not watching on YouTube, you can go to our Instagram, our X account, and we pulled the graphic earlier this week, basically recapping the offseason for the Magic. And man, we've been critical. We've been very, very critical of Jeff Weltman, the front office, the lack of moves, not only at the trade deadline, but throughout. Because even last season, in the offseason, we felt like we could have done more. And yeah, we kind of settled for a couple of small moves. KCP, nobody really kind of was thrilled with the move. Thankfully, they realized that wasn't the right decision, and they adjusted and fixed it now. But man, this year, what a turnaround. He basically said, all right, let's get to work. And it's funny. It truly feels like he's been going through X and just says, all right, so they want Tyus Jones? Check. They want a shooter? That's my Bane? Check. Oh, a rebrand? Check. Like, legitimately, everything we've been asking for, and we'll talk about the other stuff next, even the coaching staff. We've been asking for, some assistant coaches that are offensive oriented. Guess what? Check, check. It's crazy. So we as Magic fans have to now say, hey, they did their part. I don't want to hear anybody complain between now and next offseason about the front office. They did their part. On paper, we look great. We're taking advantage of the fact that the East is a conference that can be taken advantage of with all the injuries going on with Dame. The Pacers are hurt. The Celtics are basically a whole different team now. It's truly up to the Knicks, the Cavs, the Magic, and potentially Philly, Atlanta, those teams. But we are right there, man. The front office understood that. They said, well, let's give ourselves a chance. The chance is there. It's going to be fun. It's going to be a heck of a season coming up here. If we can stay healthy, man, this team has a really, really good chance to make a lot of noise in the East. And again, we haven't experienced anything like this since 2010. It's been 15 years. It's going to be fun. But, man, big props to Jeff Weltman, Anthony Parker, the whole front office staff. They went to work. They made us happy. Now it's time for us to, on the court, show us what we got.
Jeff Weltman cooked. Simple as that. And the next step of that is the big news about the Magic stealing away God Sham God from the Dallas Mavericks. Again, another element of national news. Stephen A. Smith going on ESPN on his show on First Take, telling him, sending a message directly to God, Sham God, to leave the Dallas Mavericks, join Coach Mose and the coaching staff in Orlando ASAP, right? And this is somebody that has worked closely with a lot of players. If you're not familiar with God Sham God, this is somebody that is has his own basketball move. I'm talking about this coach is so nice and so legendary as a player, right? That he's the only coach in the NBA with his own signature shoe. Man got his own signature line with Puma. Like, this is somebody that I'm really excited for, that he's been added to the Magic coaching staff. This is somebody that can help with shooting, with ball handling. And when you think about bringing a player like Jace, when you think about Anthony Black, who is somebody that we hope can continue to develop as a point guard, Jalen Suggs, who may not be a natural point guard, when you think about getting him to develop and become more of a playmaker and ball handler. And even what Paolo and Franz are going to be able to learn from. Can you imagine Paolo and Franz out there doing the Sham God? Like, that would be insane. That would be clipped. That would be highlighted. That's Sports Center top 10. Like, we're talking about all of it. And it's exciting because, again, this is the Magic finding creative ways to enhance the team's development. This is one of the ways that you do that. And it's huge because it makes sense for him, because he's going from specifically a player development role to now an assistant coaching role, which is huge, man. So I'm super excited for him. I cannot wait to see his impacts as a coach continue, and for the Magic to get better with being able to have his presence around. So when you first heard the news, because when this news happened, this is extra. Nobody asked for this. Not
Yep.
one person asked for this. Everyone wanted an offensive lead assistant. We didn't ask for Sham God, right? Sham God is what we got. So when you heard that, what was your reaction?
I mean, you said it already. It was just realizing we're going for it. We're going after, coaches that make a difference, that have a good reputation in this league. You hear names like Kyrie Irving, Luka Doncic as guys that love this coach, that attribute a lot of their improvements in their careers to this coach. If I'm not mistaken, Kobe Bryant spent a lot of time training with him as well. So we're talking about NBA superstars that give credit to him for their improvement, their development in their careers in the NBA. To your point, what can he do for Franz? What can he do for Paolo? What can he do for AB and Jalen Suggs as point guards? Um, it's a promotion for him. He's going from a development coach to now an assistant coach, so he'll be on the bench with Mosley. And don't forget, these are guys that know each other. They worked together for the Mavs a few years back, and actually today in summer league they sat together. They were talking in the sidelines. They're watching the game. So there's a lot that goes into this decision. It wasn't just a random coach they brought in. It's because he knows Mosley. He knows what he's all about. They know each other. And again, this team is at a stage right now where they got to level up, right? It's no longer about just develop a little bit. Let's take it to the next level here day by day. It's we got to start winning now. And I think he's a perfect guy to bring into the locker room. The guys will respect him immediately. He's proving his work over the years. Exciting, man. Exciting. Nobody asked for this, but all of us are thrilled. Actually, this might have been one of the most popular posts that we made on our social media accounts, both on X and IG. On a summer where we traded for Desmond Bain, got Tyus Jones, re-signed Mo Wagner. This was one of the most liked posts that we had and shared posts. So it goes to show you, like I said, this guy comes in with popularity. People like this guy off the court, on the court. I'm excited to see what he can do for the Orlando Magic, man. But this was step one of our offensive game kind of changing a little bit for next season. And I'm excited. I think he'll make a huge impact on our team.
And it doesn't stop. Magic continually looking to find ways to be able to help improve this team. When they announced that the Magic also signed Milwaukee assistant coach Joe Prunty, which the Magic, we've been asking for a lead assistant that can help us offensively. Coach Most, obviously known for his defense, and has done a killer job in creating an identity, being the right voice, being a player coach. But we needed some help, man. Obviously Nate Tibbetts came along with Coach Mose when we first hired him. He ends up getting a position elsewhere. We got paid crazy money to be able to be a head coach in the WNBA. And then that role really wasn't officially filled. Those responsibilities were divided up against the already existing coaches. So there was a missing void. So Joe Prunty, bringing a coach that has been established, respected, has had head coaching experience, has had lead assistant experience for a long time, known for his offensive strategies and calmness. When you finally heard the news that we're filled again, you said it earlier, check mark. This is what people were asking for. How excited were you to hear that the Magic spending money to bring in a lead assistant to be your second chair, your number two next to Coach Most?
Man, it was a relief because, again, on paper, the roster, significant improvements. It makes a ton of sense. But there was still that doubt of what about on the coaching staff? Like, who's going to lead us offensively? Like, we need some help. Well, let's be honest. I love Mosley. I love what he does on the defensive end. But this team has lacked offensively, and it goes beyond just what we do shooting the ball. There's some opportunities to improve on the coaching aspect of it, our game plan day to day offensively. And guess what? That's what this guy does. He specializes on offense. He's a lead assistant for many, many years. He's won a couple of rings. Most recently coached the Milwaukee Bucks. Like, this is a guy that brings a ton of experience to our locker room, to the coaching staff. I don't have words. Again, I tweeted about this earlier. Like, I'm not used to winning this much in the offseason. Like, when was the last time that we had an offseason where we kept saying, great move for the Magic, great move for the Magic? And consistently, that's the feedback that everyone is giving, not just us as Magic fans, but everyone in the media, everyone in social media. It's been a common theme. The Magic keep making moves that are making us better and better and better. And this is one of them. So I'm excited for the first, 4 or 5 games of the season to see how does our offense look now compared to last year. Because I can tell you one thing, between Shem God, now with Prunty, like, we will look differently. We will look differently in a good way. So it's exciting to see what's coming down the pike here in about 3 months when we kick off preseason and, of course, the regular season.
Yeah, I mean, not only are you bringing in offensive players, but you're also bringing in offensive coaches to continue the development of the Magic's offensive identity, which is huge, man. The Magic had one of the worst offensive ratings in the NBA for such a long time. I'm excited to see that growth. Like, I'm excited to see what that difference looks like. I'm almost a little like I'm not fully ready and prepared for it, just because we're used to the Magic looking a certain way. Like, it got to the point that I'm numb to the fact that we suck at shooting the 3-point ball. Like, I'm
Yep.
numb to it. I'm numb to the fact that where we haven't been a great offensive team, even though we got Paolo and Franz that can easily both average 25 points a game. But outside of that, it's been horrendous. So I'm excited to see what that looks like. It was announced today that Jesse, I guess, lead assistant, Shams called him lead assistant. Yeah, from my understanding, that was never officially provided or officially announced. But yeah, Jesse M, if you're familiar with the assistant coach, the gentleman with the glasses, he's no longer a part of the Orlando Magic. He accepted a lead assistant role to be the number 2 chair in Phoenix. So a lot of people in the fan base are very vocal with the fact that this is somebody that was supposed to lead the offensive strategy for the Magic. And we've been a very, very bad offensive team. A lot of people were happy with the fact that he is no longer a part of the Orlando Magic coaching staff. So thoughts on that?
I'm smiling because I was surprised with the reactions. We posted the news on X and IG, and looking at the comments afterwards, I'm like, wait, why are people so happy about the fact that he's leaving? And it's true, yes. If he really was the offensive mind, in the coaching staff, please, by all means, leave and go to Phoenix, and best of luck. But it was unreal. Like, the commentary was, even making this move, the Magic are still winning. Like, so it's crazy.
The one that kind of made me laugh was the fact that the Magic added by deleting. You know what I mean? So
Correct.
it makes sense. It makes sense.
Yep.
You're adding an additional coach already to the coaching staff. You're replacing, you're or filling the lead assistant role. And it's a new era of Magic basketball, man. There's been a lot of changes, from the rebranding to Alex Martin stepping down to new lead assistant coaches, the Magic spending money. I am overwhelmed by how many additions and changes this offseason has had. Like, we literally were complaining about this front office that did absolutely nothing at the trade deadline, and they have easily have had the most active offseason of any NBA team. Period.
Yeah. Yeah. No,
It's been a ride.
again.
And nobody, if we go into the season, knock on wood, but if this season doesn't go the way that we wanted or planned, like, nobody can fault Jeff Weltman, because this man has done literally everything that the Magic fan base had asked for, to the point where all of us collectively, we could have done his job, right? Because everything that we've wanted, they've done. Not saying that we could do his job, because I'm sure his job is way more complex than what we're making it seem like. But it's like we're on the same page, man, and that's what we wanted. Nobody asked for that. Nobody said that. There's probably one person I saw online, shout out to Luke, that said Desmond Bane. Nobody said Desmond Bane. Desmond Bane was, we don't know yet, because we have to see it, but on paper, seems and sounds and feels like the best decision for this team. right? It's the polar opposite of what we have, um, uh, and how much his impacts and effects will be. I think that we're going to be able to see it off the jump, square one. But if you would have told me that we would have been doing everything else that we have done so far after that trade, I wouldn't have believed you.
No, I mean,
Wouldn't
like I said,
at all.
Jeff did say, we're going all in, right? We're gonna go into a win now mentality. We heard it. We kind of expected some change, but man, like looking back right now, what really transpired this offseason, it's impressive. Again, I think why nobody brought up Desmond Bain as a possibility for the Magic is because nobody thought Memphis would trade him. Like he was such a good fit there. He was doing so well next to Ja and the rest of the guys there. Like he was not attainable in my eyes. But guess what? Jeff made it happen. So in Jeff we trust. And man, I gotta say it. Bain from a distance, I've always been a fan of his. Back when we drafted Cole that year, I was like, man, like that was a guy that a few of my friends said, oh, he's a guy that you guys should get. He's a good shooter in the draft. Kind of had my eyes on him, but nobody expected his career to turn the way that it has. But man, the fact that he's in our roster right now, I can say it easily. He is on paper today my favorite shooting guard that we've had on the Orlando Magic really since T-Mac. Like I can't think of another shooting guard that we've had on our roster. Of course, Vince, but he came at an old age. I won't count that on Vince. Like actual talent in their prime shooting guard. My favorite shooting guard on paper right now is Desmond Bain. So heading into a season where I've had to deal with Evan Fournier and whoever else came after that, like, come on, man. We were due for this, and it's going to be exciting to see him next to our other guys, our core players here in Orlando this upcoming season. But to your point, he's got to go out there and produce right now because we all thought KCP would make a difference last year, but he's a night and day type of player. He's an offensive-minded guy. He attacks the rim. He shoots it well. It's going to be fun. To recap the offseason talk, one more question for you before we wrap it up. Caleb Houston, I know he's a fan favorite. We all love him. A shooter, most importantly, that we could trust as a third string player. Right now, on paper, we cannot afford him, right? Like we don't have the money to spend on a 15th roster spot unless we make some trades. What do you expect? Do you think that this is the last we saw of Caleb Houston? Do you think the Magic make a trade to create some flexibility and bring him back? What are your thoughts on that final move that we might make before training camp?
Yeah, do I think that the Magic will make a move so that they are able to keep Caleb Houston? I don't think that Caleb Houston is that impactful for us to go out of the way just to keep a roster spot for him. The Magic have already gave up his jersey to Tyus Jones that would be wearing that number 2. Caleb Houston is just an odd man out. And unfortunately, we can't, when we talk about being a win now team, we can't worry about the 15th spot on the team. We just can't. And I think that adds added pressure. That adds added pressure to the 14th man and the 13th man. Like Jay Howard, I'm looking at you. Noah Penda, Jace Richardson. They're obviously rookies, but it forces everyone to battle, and I think that's iron sharpens iron, right? So unfortunately, Caleb Houston, odd man out. I don't see him coming back. Be awesome if the Magic found a way to be able to do that, but contract wise, I don't see who else on the team right now I would sacrifice just to keep Caleb Houston. Like if you're gonna make a move, make a move to enhance the roster, and then if you need to keep Caleb Houston because you need to keep the body and you're familiar with Caleb Houston, then okay. But as of right now, I'm not entirely sure who I would say bye to just to keep Caleb Houston.
Yeah, I forgot who said it. It might have been Keith Smith on X. He did say that he still has 1 year left of eligibility as a two-way player. That might be the move. Would he accept a two-way roster spot with the Magic? Did he like it here enough to say, "Hey, I'll go back to two-way player"? I hope so, because I think again he will be a great addition to the locker room. The guys, and again, they know him that continuity in our roster would continue and help us. Again, is he going to get a better offer somewhere else? We'll see. I don't think he's on a summer league roster. I don't think again he hasn't signed with anybody else. So if the Magic come knocking and say, "Hey, this is what we got for you," I hope he takes it. So we'll see what happens there. I agree with you. I don't think that we will make any more trades. The logical names are Goga or Jay Howard. Goga is needed right now because, again, Mo Wagner is still recovering. We don't know when he'll be back. So come trade deadline, maybe that's the move that we make. Jet Howard, I still believe the Magic would give him another chance. I still think that as of today, that backup small forward position is going to come down to Tristan or Jet Howard. They'll both get time to shine and see what they can do. They both bring 3-point shooting. They both have the size. They both have the make of what we need off the bench in the 3 position. Ultimately, it'll be who can actually win that spot in training camp. So it'll be fun to watch in preseason and into the early part of the season. As of right now, I give the edge to Tristan. I think he does more on the court. He makes less mistakes. But shooting the ball, man, when Jet gets going, and it's fun to watch. So he might be that Terrence Ross that we've been missing for a while. We'll see what happens.
I mean, listen, the Magic, they took a risk on him, drafted him way early than anyone else would have. They obviously see that there's potential there. I haven't fully gave up on Jet Howard. We're hoping that not just Anthony Black, but Jet Howard makes that third season Jalen Suggs leap. And if the Magic are able to do that, man, just think about how you're able to play, a 6'8" player that can literally shoot lights out, but can also, somewhat defend, hold your own. Like, no one's expecting Jet Howard to, be all NBA defense, but to at least be able to hold your own on that end and be efficient and effective and dangerous behind the 3-point line at his size, where no one's going to be able to stop that shot from happening. It's fun to think about. Now it's really up to the work that he's putting in the offseason, and then the work that he continues to put, in practice, because Coach Mose is traditional in a lot of ways, man. If you're not performing in practice, you're not going to perform in the game. So you're not just going to have the shot. This is somebody that is not afraid to bench you no matter what role you had. The perfect example is Cole Anthony. Cole Anthony got barely any. He fell out of the rotation. And this was Cole Anthony, somebody that he relied on, so heavily. So who knows what's going to happen with him? Who knows how they're going to, deal with it? I don't see Caleb Houston coming back, but if the Magic find a way to be able to bring him back, then that's cool too. Contract wise, money wise, if it doesn't work, it'd be interesting to see if he would accept a 2-way. I'm not sure exactly what his value would be across the NBA. Like with other teams, he's a 6'8", shooter, but he's also have never had a dunk in the game. So I've seen percentages of, elements that hurt him from a statistical standpoint. So I just don't know if that's really a matter. So good thing is we'll find out close enough. So this offseason has been active. The offseason does not stop. You still have the beginning of the Summer League action. There's going to be a little bit of a break where we'll find out in August what the season schedule will look like. And then late September, we do this all over again. Training camp starts, and that's when it really gets busy. So exciting times to be a Magic fan. I appreciate everyone for listening, man. This was an awesome episode. Glad we were able to wrap everything up. Curious to see how the Summer League ends up playing out with Jace, Noah, and Tristan Silva. On that note, it's a wrap, and we'll catch you guys on the next one.
For all the latest Magic news and updates, visit OrlandoMagicHQ.com and follow us on Instagram at Orlando Magic HQ and on Twitter at OMagicHQ. Also, remember to subscribe to our YouTube channel and subscribe and leave a 5-star review on your favorite listening platform.